Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private Facebook community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, then definitely come check us out. We'd definitely love to have you. That group was put together specifically for coaches, consultants, and service providers who are serious about getting to that 6 and that 7-figure level. So if that's you, definitely come check us out. Now, today I want to introduce you to one of the members of the community, Rux. Welcome, Rux.
Thank you so much, Extus. It's great to be here. I appreciate you inviting me. It's a joy to be here.
Awesome, you're welcome. So how do you pronounce your full name?
It's Ruxandra Dariescu.
Okay, where's that name from? Where is that name from?
The name is originally from Romania, where I've lived through my childhood, and then I moved to the UK. So I kind of changed lives.
Love it. So tell us, Rux, what is it that you do?
Oh God, there are quite a few things I do, but when it comes to coaching, I work with individuals and teams to bring high performance to them. And I'm not talking here about high performance in terms of athletics or giving your full power in one moment only, but building that power for almost like a life skill. Yeah, you stay with it for the rest of your life. And I've got into coaching really by accident, I would say, because I was inspired by my son, and kind of it evolved over a number of years. But I was trying to find an interesting play group for him to, do some stuff outside the school. And it wasn't anything in the area where we live that he found interesting. So I said, how about I set it up by myself? So I created a concept which I call the Earth School Hub. And I started playing with kids. Great things you learn from kids. I mean, honestly, the way they open up, the way they have the courage to do things, that inspired me, because they have no fear. And that was my kind of after work life. But in work, I was leading companies in for their product teams and taking products to market, transforming products. And I realized that we have so many barriers between, how we act when we are free, like kids, and how we act when we are in a business environment or in places where we come together as adults and we kind of stop playing. We take everything very serious. And as a result, we tend to fail a lot. We get too tight into the way we look at things and the way we do things. And that inspired me to think, how else can I look at life for myself first? And then how can I help others? Because when you lead a team, you really want to work well with the team. So I've come up with a concept which I call play well together. And I started tapping into my background. I'm a biochemist scientist by education. I've been working in the business world for a long time, a couple of decades. And I'm passionate about various life philosophies, sciences, and I do not see things disconnected. Everything for me is connected. I studied biochemistry, and in the middle of biochemistry, you find mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, all kinds of things that come together. So how can I apply that to a new way of looking at life? And that's how I've come about coaching.
Yeah, fascinating, awesome. And you said the individuals you work with, you said individuals and teams?
Yes, both. Because I believe that when you're working with a team for driving it to high performance, each individual has to feel like a leader in whatever their role is in the team. So while a team is made of people, they have to deliver something together, they are individuals first. So I apply the same techniques, only that it's slightly different dynamic when you have a team. And, we all know that a team moves with the speed of the weakest link. So that helps everybody understand in what way they contribute, how they do it, and what is missing for them to be the best versions of themselves when working together.
Yeah, Love it. And I take it that the individuals and teams you work with, they're in organizations. Is that right?
Yes, yes, they are in the business world mainly.
Mm-hmm.
My background is in technology companies, and I tend to kind of hover towards that direction, but it's not limited to technology inspired companies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So in essence, because I know there's a lot of individuals who do they want to take the leap, right? So they've been maybe in corporate, they've been doing a lot of
Mm-hmm.
work for others, and now they want to say, okay, I want to get into coaching and consulting. I want to be able to do this on my own, build an actual business. And it seems
Yeah.
like for you, you've kind of taken a leap and you've done this. So I know you mentioned
Yeah.
yeah, about the kids. How did that come about? Was it a pretty easy transition?
It became easy. I've kind of I went with the flow. So I had because obviously I have a product management background, so I try to bring some of that into the play groups with the kids, and they all say, "Oh, can we have a break? We'd like to play on Xbox, or we want to play the PlayStation." I'm like, "Okay, fine, let's do that." And I started asking while playing. I said, "So if you were that character for real, how would you change the world? What wouldn't be different?" And then I said, "Would you like guys to start designing things like this instead of playing some other people's creation? How about you create it themselves?"
Mm-hmm.
And they bought into the concept, and we started storytelling and playing around. How could you create a game? And they come up with the most interesting thing for me. It's like um, a game. The theory of the game there is that they want to cook something together, and each one has a role. One chooses the ingredients, the other one chooses the order of your recipe, what pots and pans you need, how do you decorate your kitchen for it. And we started playing with post-it notes, put things in order in different colors, shapes. And then we said, "Oh, you know what? The best thing we could do in this game is to have a kitchen that is self-cleaning." I'm like, "Oh God, that can be invented." I would love that after you do all the mess of your cooking to have the kitchen self-cleaning. And my God, these kids actually have so much to teach me. And I thought I
Mm-hmm.
was the one, because I thought, when we mix things, okay, we have a lot of chemistry and physics in there. Let's talk about principles. And I speak here about kids 6, 7, 8 years old, so really young, but
Mm-hmm.
so passionate. And I realized that passion is a superpower. And they would come there and say, "Hey, how about we do this in the kitchen today? How about we do that?" And I said, "Okay, how about I take this and take it to my product team and play it in the same way?"
Mm-hmm.
So I took the play setting into the business world, and I worked it with a team, and it turned to be from a lot of arguments and tension in the team. It turned into a play, and they were like, how else can we be better? And like, oh wow, I discovered something here. So um, then I worked with that for a couple of years to fine tune the mechanics when you are in the business world. And I've been inspired through a lot of research and trial and error and testing and all that, um, to design another application that I use in coaching, which I'm due to launch this fall for the rest of the world, which I called Accord Pulse. And what it does is it's a self-scoring mechanism that help people understand where they are in a situation, in an interaction, where they are against their own workload and how well they contribute to the single goal a team has. Because you have your own goal when you work in the business world, but how well do I contribute to the benefit of the entire team? So I said, okay, let's play well together for the greatest good of all. And it turned, initially the team was incredibly reluctant to score themselves. But after a couple of weeks of going through the motions, we would never be able to finish our daily review meeting without going through the scores. Like, "Hey, you said you are a 5 and now you come and tell me you're a 3. The scores go from 1 to 9. And like, what's happening? How can we help you?" I'm like, oh. So, and then they said, "Oh, look at the world, what is possible. If we come and are starting being honest with each other and trusting each other and believing." And it turned into an exercise of self-trust of looking at the beliefs that block us in how we work, um, the emotions that are attached to that, and how, and against all odds, later on when I started applying this as my regular work practice, um, I worked with a team who was failing on all levels in terms of objectives, and within 6 months they've not only achieved all the objectives, both as individuals and as a team, but they've got a call from the client they delivered to, saying they never believed this possible and how wonderful they evolved as a team. And they said, hey, we are high performers. And I'm, yeah, you are.
Mm.
So this mechanism is called accord because it resonates with the word. Each letter means something in the exercise. And combinations of letters give different indicators, like can you deliver what you're promising? Are you committed to doing that? What it takes for you to be committed? What it takes to be disciplined in getting there? How good are the relationships? How do you feel about the relationships in your team? You may not like people, but you don't have to be friends. You come here to be respectful to each other, to share knowledge and grow together, the business and you as an individual. So yeah, that's the world I play in.
Yeah, yeah, love it. What about with your clients? Are you working with clients globally, or is it local? What type of clients are you working with?
Right now, my clients are mainly in Europe, but I do have a history of clients around the world. I worked with India, I work with the US, not so much in Latin America, but that's a territory I'm very fond of, and I'm looking to see how I can tap into my contacts there. But it's kind of I'm a global citizen. I've been traveling a lot in my work, although not good for the environment. It's been a wonderful experience for me, and it taught me to appreciate the differences and learn from that to create better.
Mm-hmm. Good, good. Now, with your business, is it are you right now of COVID-19? Are you virtual right now? Before COVID-19, were
Oh
you
yeah, I've
in
been
person?
virtual before. I tend to, because most of the profile of the companies I work with have distributed teams. Typically, my work is virtual, and occasionally we come together in workshopping or stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
most of the work is done remotely, and um, while it does have, it's a bit missing the human element to it because you see yourselves through screens. It does have a personal touch, and I know a lot of people are commenting how bad it is to not be able to see each other face to face or shake hands. But I think the way I look at it is the world of possibilities. If I were 15 years ago in this situation, I would have suffered dramatically to not be able to use a Zoom or something else. Yeah, I think we should look at the positive things. And yes, COVID, it's a tragedy to humanity, but we learn from it, and we come at the other end stronger
Mm-hmm.
and probably more united.
Yeah, love it. Now, what about the vision that you have for your business? What's that vision?
Oh, my vision is, I think my vision is fully aligned with my life philosophy, because I want to create great work. I want to make positive change, and I want to be able to breathe in the space. Yeah. And it's the same for the people I work with, the companies I work with. They are in the places they are because they want to create great work, yeah? Because they want to make a positive difference. I don't think anyone wakes up in the morning going saying, oh, you know what, I just gonna go there and do nothing. And we all want to feel happy. So if that's what's driving us, I want to be a contributor into that element of creating great work in the world.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, love it. And how do you, in terms of I guess self-learning and stuff like that, are you a reader? Do you listen to podcasts? How do you
Oh,
consume
everything.
everything?
Everything. I'm a curious mind, and because I'm so interested in how things intersect each other, I tend to jump subjects. So I start, let's say, on a topic in philosophy, and then I start looking for how that philosophy goes into business, into other sciences, into day-to-day interactions. And I look for that to create a whole story around it and add my layer to it as well, because obviously I need to put it in my context and
Mhm.
be able to then relate it to others.
Yeah, yeah. So what's have you, over the past, of course, and I'd like to ask is over the past few days, I know as entrepreneurs, we always have these big insights, big ideas. Have you had any of these big ideas over the
Oh
past few
God,
days?
I would not believe this. 4 or 5 weeks ago, I
Mm-hmm.
woke up with a vision that I've created something that made people feel better. And it was like, we all have to wear these masks in public spaces, public transport, and all that. And I said, how can I make that experience a bit better? And starting asking that question, it turned into how can I change the world? And in how many ways can I look at that? So I started applying my scientist background in biochemistry, and I designed it's like a sticker that you infuse with essential oils, and you attach it to the mask, and it releases the oils into your mask, and it's making the experience a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I have fun designing stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So my vision is that my clients also can discover the next best thing for them. How something that it's been almost like in their dreams, and now it can come true. Because when you look from the point of view of creating and not being fearful about what could not happen, you'd start thinking what could happen. The universe is your oyster, is not your, everything is there. Because if you think, we have two resources that are free of charge. One is dopamine and the other one is noradrenaline. One gives us pleasure and the other one gives us the focus. So if we can combine them, it's an infinite resource for every individual. It doesn't matter if you're in a team or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when you put them together, you create your passion. And if your passion is your superpower, nothing stops you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. So in terms of, because you said your background is a scientist as well, right?
Yeah.
So what cool stuff have you invented? What cool stuff have you put together?
So what I've done, I have combined concepts from neurosciences, from philosophy, from how our body functions, and translated them into kind of business attributes.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in the word accord, in A stands for assurance. One of the C stands for communication. The R stands for relationships. And each one, through studies and a lot of cross checks with scientists in other fields than my educational background, we've advanced the concept, and they said, hey, you know what? Relationships are governed by a thing we call oxytocin in our body. Yeah. So if I have a lot of that in my body, I am able to connect better. How do I translate that in my day-to-day interactions? Yeah? If I connect naturally with people, it means that I have a good level of that in my body. If I don't, I have to educate myself to get there. And how do I do that when I live with fears that people will judge me, or, because this is typically what's happening. You feel that people will judge you and you rather not interact than interact.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start understanding how your body functions,
Mm-hmm.
you say, oh, that's just that. Okay, then now I don't have a barrier to interacting. It was just in my mind thinking it's a block, but
Mm-hmm.
in reality it isn't. And you
Yeah.
can open up.
Yeah. So what happens when someone, so you said with relationships, oxytocin, if you have a healthy level of it inside of you, that's what fosters relationship, or that's what gets you open to
Yeah,
connecting.
that's exactly that. And that's what makes a team come together. It's kind of the glue of a team.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, there are a lot of examples and books about in a team you have 5 characters, and always someone, it's an introvert who will not want to interact. It's like a standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, if you understand that person from a different point of view, instead of saying he's an introvert, therefore that's it, that's the person, you you start as a team, you can understand where that person comes from. And if you understand how it functions inside you, it is not a barrier anymore. It gradually it opens up and everybody becomes better at it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the mechanism. The moment you are conscious about what's happening, it becomes your new truth and you act from that point of view. And I've seen people change. It's so surprising. And even with small children, some are just not ready to interact. But if you understand that is something inside them that triggers them to start self-trusting and self-believing in their own power, then, and it's not in the power in the sense of controlling others, in the sense of they understand it's not a dangerous thing to do when you interact.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, some people will say no to you, but that's part of life.
Love it. So now if someone wanted to connect, what's the best way for them to be able to reach out to you?
I think that the best way it's either to contact me via LinkedIn on my profile, in Ruxandra Dariescu, or just email me directly. The establishment I created is called the Product Schools, and the easiest way is to reach me on the address hello@theproductschools.com.
Mm-hmm. And who's the best person? Who's that ideal person that you'd like to reach out?
I think I'd like to connect with people who really question how else can I become better. I've reached a level and I recognize it, but I know at the same time that I tend to get stuck here, and I know I can do more, but I don't yet find my courage, or I don't fully understand how I could get there. Because as a coach, I don't tell people what to do, but I invite people to think differently about situations. And through the tools I develop, they start seeing black and white or other colors, depending on where they are on that journey. Yeah? If I'm an introvert and I suffer because I see other people being happy in relationships, and I score constantly quite low, it helps me understand that, you know what, I could actually use my assurance level, which is the level of knowledge, to build relationships. And then I transform myself that way. Yeah? So that's the kind of people I'm looking to, people who are curious, how else can they think about life? Because the answer is inside each one, if they just don't have the right question in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Love it, love it. Well, hey, Rux, thank you so much for making the time to be here today. I really appreciate it. And guys, the links to connect back with Ruxy will be either above or below this video. So if you're watching this on the live or on the replay, you can just click and get connected right to her. Well, Rux, hey, thanks again. Do you have any final thoughts before we end?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's a joy to meet you. Just be safe, be happy, and be kind.
Love it, love it. Well, hey, enjoy. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Take